Okay, so welcome guys. Thanks for joining me today. I am excited to dive into how you can get started in your exciting journey into business ownership so that way you can work from home or on the road like we are. Yes, Helen, I have thought about those travel screens for the laptops. I need to just break down and get them. I feel like they're so small. I'm not sure I would like them, but it would probably be better than not having two screens at all. Great idea. I really just need to break down and get those. But we're going to talk about exactly how you guys can have this lifestyle as well, where if you decide you want to just pop in the car or fly on the plane and go to California for a week in the middle of November, you can do that, just like me. So we're going to go over all of that today. But for those of you that are new to this call, I know there's quite a few returning people on here, and good to see you guys. But if you're new to this call and you don't know me, my name's Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA and a mom of five. 4 of my kids are here in California with me today. And I founded the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy after experiencing all the wonderful things that happened in my family since starting our at-home bookkeeping business back in 2015. I was able to work part-time from home, growing my business, even with a 6-month-old at home and 2 elementary school age children. And I did that by myself because my husband was working a corporate job where he was gone a lot. But my business grew so quickly, easily, and I was able to actually retire my husband just 7 months after creating my LLC, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. That was never even expected part of the plan. I had no idea that we were going to achieve that, let alone so quickly. So the fact that you guys are here learning about a bookkeeping business, you have stumbled upon a gold mine, and I'm excited to share with you exactly how that would work for your family. So we'll be talking about that. But since I retired my husband, I continued to have a thriving business as we even grew our family. We had twins. We ended up deciding to homeschool our kids. We moved to a different city. All this time balancing all of those family and lifestyle changes with my business and being there for my family 100% of the time, but also having more money coming in than either one of us had ever made combined in our paychecks before. So I had an idea to start the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy about 4.5 years ago. I wanted to share this opportunity with other families because it was so beneficial for us. And I felt like so many people really didn't have any idea that they could do this. So we started doing that in April of 2019. We've helped thousands of families work less, make more money, and build a virtual recession-proof business that's actually also in high demand. So at the Bookkeeper Academy, we have created this because it's our mission to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing the connectivity with their families by offering the education framework to launch their own business from home. So drop a heart emoji or a thumbs up emoji or your favorite emoji if this resonates with you, if you feel like this mission would be something that would really help your family live a better quality of life. I love that. Awesome. Okay. I am interested. I know I've see some familiar names on here, but can you type in the chat a 1 if you have attended one of these live webinars before, or a 2 if you are brand new and haven't been on here yet? All right. Welcome back, Helen. Glenn, I do recognize your name, Glenn, so maybe I've seen it around other places, but welcome to the webinar, and welcome Wendy as well. Welcome back, Lisa and Kalani. Welcome, Beatrice, Michaela. Awesome. So thank you guys for returning and getting more questions answered. Let me know if you guys have any questions as we go. I am going to be staying on throughout this entire end of the webinar. So feel free to stay on with me, and I will answer all the questions that you have when this is done as well. But this will also be recorded. So if you have to hop off, hop back on, or you miss any parts at all, I will definitely get the recording over to you. As a matter of fact, my husband, Sean, is going to be texting everybody today. So that way, if you have any private questions that you want to ask, you'll be able to do so. If you do have any spam blockers on your phone, I will give you Sean's phone number so you can save it. That way the text messages will go through because it is coming from a business line. But either way, I also do these webinars every Thursday and Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's my sweet spot with getting up and getting the kids off to school. But out here in California, as you guys know, it is much earlier. So you may see some dark circles under my eyes on Saturday. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I do this every week, just like this. So you guys are welcome to come back anytime, multiple times, get more questions answered, get inspired, get excited about this. You can also bring anybody that's going to help you with this, making a decision or helping you invest in your business to get it started. Feel free to invite them to this webinar as well. And they can hear it straight from, start to finish. That way you can talk about it, have a great educated discussion with your family and make a really great game plan. So feel free to join me back anytime. And also feel free to use the Q&A feature or the chat box if you have questions. So I see David asked or said he was a returning, I think. Yes, a returning. Welcome back, David. Okay, so you can use the Q&A box too. Okay, I want to quickly go over what the agenda is for today so you guys have an idea of what this meeting is going to be like. The first thing that we're going to do is go over investment options. So you guys know exactly what it would look like if you wanted to enroll in our Bookkeeper Academy. And then that way, as we go on through this presentation, you'll understand what that investment is going to do for you. So we're going to just start off right at the beginning with that. So you guys have a clear, transparent understanding of what that investment looks like. And then we also have new guaranteed approval lender who is approving everyone, even if you have no job, no income, or bad credit, or problems with, bankruptcy or anything like that. We've all been there at some point in our life, and we don't want that to hold you guys back from changing it. So our lender, because our program is, you're able to make money so fast with our program, our lender is ready to approve everyone. So if you decide, hey, I want to do this, I'm ready to get going, the only thing that you need to have is the down payment. And I'll show you what that is. And the highest amount is $640, but that's what most people have. But I'll go over those details first. And then after that, we're going to talk about your goals. So that way we can help you understand what your goals are financially, but also with your time and your location freedom goals. And then that way I can also then show you how a bookkeeping business will help you reach those goals and why it's ideal for your family. And then the last thing we'll do is kind of go into details on how our team helps you set this foundation for your really awesome bookkeeping business where you can actually make over $100 an hour doing this work. So I'll go over what our program looks like and the benefits and the features and what you get from it. So that is the agenda today. And Helen is here to hear about the new funding. Awesome. Yes, I'm going to dive into that right now, right away. So you can have that right at the beginning. And if you guys have already been chatting with Sean, feel free to text him throughout this presentation, and he will get you the links that you need right away. So let's dive in. I'll give you some details about the Academy investment, how to get started with the guaranteed funding program. And then if you guys are new here, you'll see how you can turn this investment into lifelong money for your family. Always like to be upfront though, so you guys aren't wondering what the heck is this going to be all about. So our program, our main program is the Bookkeeper Academy, and it is a 12-month program, and the investment for that is $12,000. And what we do is we help our students go from basically zero, starting brand new with a new business, and we show you how to make $100,000 in your first year of your bookkeeping business. Now, depending on what your goals are, if let's say your goal is to see how much money you can bring in with your business, it's very easy to hit 100K in your first year. And then typically what happens is every year after that, you're on a trajectory to double. So it really does depend on your goals, because we do have a lot of people in our program that they are more interested in getting time back. They don't want to work full time. They've got little kids at home, or maybe they have an elderly relative they're taking care of, or they want to travel or whatever. So sometimes the time factor is more important than, making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I want to just showcase with you guys that we can show you how to make $100,000 per year in your first year, and then be able to double that every single year. So when you make this investment for the 12 months of support, we expect you to get close to a 10x return on your investment, just even in the first year alone. But if you think about it and you double every year, you're going to make a huge return on your investment if you calculate all of the subsequent years as well. So you can stay in our program for a year, or you can keep renewing. For everybody that stays in our program for 2, 3, 4 years, we give them half price in the subsequent years too. So it's really nice. And we have quite a few students that have been in our program for going on 4 years now, because they just love the support so much. So I will dive into that. But what's really great about starting a business, if you guys don't know this yet, is that it's always going to be the biggest return on your investment of any investment. So if you think about, like, if you're going to invest in real estate, or maybe a savings account, or a CD, or even a stock market, or a 401k, more than likely, you're not going to have a return on investment anywhere near 10 times what you invest. And even if you do have a larger return, it's not usually within only a year. It may take 3, 5, 10 years to reach that type of return on investment. So when you start a business, you invest in yourself, that's typically going to be the biggest return that you could ever get. And then what we suggest doing with your profit, the leftover extra from your business, is then investing it in those other things. So always investing in yourself and investing in your business is going to be the biggest return that you'll ever have. But also what's really great, like I mentioned, is that due to our Bookkeeper Academy program and our student success rate, and the fact that you guys can actually start making money within the first week or two of being in our program, our funding specialist has decided to approve anyone who wants to enroll in the program. Doesn't matter, again, if you have proof, you don't have to show proof of income. You don't have to have good credit. They do a credit check, but there is no one that is denied. And this is specifically for the US. So do I have anyone joining with me today that is outside of the US? Our guaranteed funding specialist only does this program for the US, but we do have a separate lender for Canada. But that one does have to go with Canada lending laws, which I guess are a lot more stringent. So if you're from Canada or the UK, we can work with you on a different type of payment plan. But just know, when I talk about the guaranteed funding, it is only available to the US students. So thank you guys for letting me know who's from Canada. I will give you guys the link too, if that's something that you're ready to do. And I will also have Sean text you guys to let you know what the other options are for getting into our program if you're in Canada. Okay, so for the people in the US, if you are approved, I mean, you will be approved for the guaranteed funding, but if you decide to apply, literally the only thing that you need to have available for you is a $640 down payment. Now, if you do happen to have good credit or a decent income already, then you could have lower payments. But I would say about 90% of the people that go through this program, they do qualify for the $640 payment. Our lender moves super fast. So the second that you apply for the guaranteed funding, you want to make sure you have that first payment ready and in your checking account, because they will literally get you on a call, sign the paperwork, take the first payment, and you're ready to roll. So we had a girl a couple of weeks ago that was on our Saturday webinar. She applied for funding, takes 5 minutes to apply. She got an approval within a couple of hours. She booked her call with the lender. Since it was the weekend, they weren't open until Monday. She got on Monday morning, made her payment, signed the docs, did the welcome call with the lender. And then they told us, hey, this girl, Crystal, is ready to onboard. We got her into the program by Monday night. By Tuesday morning, she had her first client or first potential. So which was really, really exciting. That's what all this stuff can happen fast. You can go at your own pace though, guys. So just want to let you know that so you don't have to stress yourself out. But if you do really want to hit this ground running, hit it hard, you can get some clients coming in pretty quick to even cover, the second or the third payment. So just keep in mind, whenever you're ready to apply for funding, all you need to do is make sure you have that $640 ready and you're good to go. Okay. So I always like to check at this time during the call. Do you guys have a belief that you can actually make $100,000 in 12 months? I'm curious to kind of get a feel for what the mindset is on the call. So type a 1 in the chat if you feel like, yes, I think it's very doable with the right mentor, the right opportunity, the right information, I could make $100,000 in a year. If you feel like, I don't think that's possible for me, I'm not really sure, I don't know how I could ever imagine making that for my family, type a 2. So that kind of gives me an idea of, what you guys are thinking, because I will tell you 80% of your success is going to come from your mindset. And that's what's either going to hold you back or push you forward. And of course, in our program, we focus on that very heavily to help you overcome what's blocking you. We actually have a call dedicated to that specifically. So if you do have any, trouble with belief, basically, we can help you with that. So it looks like I'm getting lots of 1s. That would be great. Deborah says, so what would the monthly payment be? The monthly payment would be $640. So sorry for the confusion there. The down payment $640, and then you make 23 more $640 payments over the course of 2 years. Now that obviously adds up to a little over $15,000, and that's interest. However, the lender also provides another deal where if you pay it off within 12 months, it's interest free, which is really, really great, because here in a little bit, I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can pay it off with cleanup jobs from clients, and you could pay it off pretty quickly, maybe even within like 2, 3, 4 months, something like that. So you do have the opportunity of getting interest free, and you're going to save like $3,500 if you do pay it off within 12 months. Helen says, my worry is that I'm in DC, so I'm wondering if there's enough business for me. I feel like the market might be saturated. Everyone already has a bookkeeper. Awesome. Thank you so much for addressing that. And I'm going to show you here very soon what the potential client pool is specifically in the US. So I think your mind will be blown there. But these are the exact perfect questions to bring not only to me, but also to our Overcoming What's Blocking You calls in our academy, because sometimes we just have a limiting belief like that like holds us back from making a move because we think it to be true. But that actual particular statement about the market being saturated and the fact that everyone has a bookkeeper, it's actually not true. And I'll show you that here pretty soon. But sometimes we don't know that these things are true or not true because we just don't have the information or the facts. And what's really great is all you need to know is learn a little bit more about something, and it changes your whole perspective on the whole, process or opportunity or problem or whatever it is that you have a belief about. And that's what's really cool, because then once you learn a little bit more, then you realize, oh, okay, this is actually really, really doable. So that's what we have in our academy too, is calls about that all the time. So that way we can help you guys, get down to the bottom of it. What is the truth here? And is this really possible or not? So keep sharing things like that with me, guys, because I think that'll really help you be able to make a really good decision about moving forward with this. If you're really upfront and open about the things that you're doubting or that you're unsure about, and I can explain those to you. Okay, awesome. Let's keep going. So drop a fire emoji in the chat if you are ready to get started learning about how you can make $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 per month, even starting from ground zero. So who's ready? Who's ready to kick this off? All right. Thanks, Galani. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to dive into your goals. So it's really, really important to get clarity on your goals, because then we can map out exactly what we're working towards. Why do you guys want to do this? And then also the exact roadmap and timeline for doing it, because it's really hard when you have these goals. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was working at my corporate job at my CPA firm, I had all these plans and goals and things that I wanted to do and accomplish with my life. But the reason I decided to start my business was because I felt like there was no actual plan to achieving any of them. Like I was talking to Alicia, she's one of our students. I interviewed her on my podcast, and she was saying that it's one of her lifelong dreams to take her kids to the Maldives, and like do a really crazy cool vacation like that. And I had all those travel plans and stuff too when I was working. But I got to the point where I felt like, am I ever actually going to achieve these? Like, how will I ever actually get this stuff? And so I want to show you guys exactly how you can achieve your goals that you have for your family. Stop just wishing and dreaming about them, but actually learn how you can achieve them, what the timeline is for you to get there, and exactly what you need to do to reach the goals. But first, in order to do that, we actually have to have goals. So I just want to take a few minutes on this call to like get clear, define our goals, and that kind of stuff. Okay. So we're going to talk about financial goals, time goals, and location goals mostly, because those are the three things that really mean a lot to people. And we can't really tackle any of the other goals until we actually have our money where we need to have it, right? So we're going to start at the very beginning with the financial goals, because money is what gets you freedom to be able to utilize all of these other goals. So we're going to start there. And I have this broken down into 3 different financial goals, because we need to have bite-sized goals when we start our business to give us the confidence to keep moving forward. So I want to start with the very beginning. This is one I call the bare minimum goal. So when I first started my business, I was making about $3,500 a month at my CPA firm. This was back in 2015. And when we had our 3rd child, I knew I did not want to send her to daycare. And so we decided to hire a nanny. We really couldn't afford it, but we figured it out somehow. And we were paying this nanny about $1,500 a month. So my net pay after paying the nanny was really only $2,000. That's what I had available to be able to utilize for spending or whatever. And so I knew that was my first goal. And that was what I wanted to get in my business. If I could at least find enough clients where I was making $2,000 a month, then I knew that we would be fine. We would be like where we were. Obviously, I wanted more than that. I wanted to be more comfortable, but that would get me by for a bit and allow me to be a stay-at-home mom again. That's what I wanted. So that was my first goal. For you, it could be a little different. It could be similar. It could be that you need to cover a portion of your family's expenses, or maybe you need to cover a portion of your current salary so that you would be able to quit your job, anything like that. So think about that for a sec. What is your bare minimum goal that you have for starting your business, and type that in the chat. So tell me what that would be for you. It could be 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, whatever it is for your family. Everybody's different because we all have different areas that we live, different lifestyles that we've already grown accustomed to, different amount of expenses per month. So let me know what that is. Kalani says 3,000. Lynn says 4,000. All right, awesome. I got downsized from work, so bare minimum goal is rent, utilities, and food. Okay, so add that up approximately, Helen, and figure out what would that be? What would that be for you? Because you really need a solid number. You need to know what your solid number is so we can show you exactly how to get to it. So 3,000-ish. Okay, perfect. Awesome. 4K and 3K for Lisa and Beatrice. Okay, 2,500 to 3,000. Great. Awesome. Okay, so jot that down. Remember that bare minimum goal number 1, because that's going to be important on here on this upcoming slide. So then we're going to pivot over to our financial goal number 2. So this is when, okay, you've met your first one, and now you're like, okay, let's try for the next one. What's going to be our next goal? And for us, this is where we started reaching some lifestyle goals, which was when my husband got to quit his job. where we felt a little bit more covered, content. We knew all of our bills are going to be paid. We weren't worried about, being late on our house payment or anything like that. So back in 2015, we kind of had like a modest life. We didn't have a ton of bills or a ton of debt yet. So I knew if I just made $5,000 to $6,000 per month, I'd be able to cover all of the expenses for a while, and my husband would be able to quit his job. Now, we still knew at this point things would be tight, losing my husband's income. However, we could still pay for everything. So for me, my second goal was around $5,000 to $6,000 per month. So if you could get to that second goal where you felt a little bit more excited, a little bit more comfortable, you didn't have to worry about grocery prices, things like that, what would that number be for you? So type that in the chat and let me know. It could be different for everybody. Kalani says 6 to 8K. Awesome. 5 to 6K for that. Great. 4 to 6. Awesome. These are all super doable. I'm super excited to show you guys the timeline of how quickly you can get there. And then the last goal that we focus on, at least in this first phase of starting your business, is your wow goal. So when you sit and think about all the fun things that you want to do for your family, all the goals that you have, maybe it's like, just not having to budget and penny pinch. Maybe it's like you want to go on a vacation. You want to just pick up and travel in the middle of November like we are, or you want a brand new car, or maybe you want a house with a pool or whatever it is. Those were the things I wanted. And I knew if I wanted to be able to achieve those things, that I needed to make at least $10,000 a month to be able to have extra money every month to be able to do this whenever I felt like it. So that was my wow goal at the time. So what is that for you guys? What would your wow goal be that would give you the opportunity to start checking off some of your bucket list items like that? So 5,000, 6,000, 7. Kalani says 10 to 12. Yep, you can do it. You can do it. Deborah says 6. Michelle says 8. 10K. Okay, 8 to 11. Yep, 10K after taxes. Awesome. Great. Perfect. Okay, I love it. So now that we've got the financial goals kind of ironed out, we'll kind of pivot a little bit to some of your time goals. One of the really cool things about a bookkeeping business, and the reason I love to share this opportunity, is that it opens up a world of time for you. Most of you guys are probably used to working as an employee for somebody else. And when you do that, you are dedicated to working, sometimes 40 to up to 60 hours a week dedicated to your job. And you don't always get, raises that you want and financial freedom for that, right? But then you also have to punch a clock, and maybe you don't get time off that you want, or, it just cuts into a lot of your family time because there's no flexibility. So we're going to talk about your, current but preferred time. So the first thing I want you guys to come up with is calculate all the hours in a week that you dedicate to your job. So not only the working hours, but the time that you're away from your family. So include, the commute, if you have a lunch break that you have to be away from, all that kind of stuff. So for me, when I was working at the CPA firm, it was about 5 minutes from my house. I was able to work through my lunch break. So I was only gone about 40 hours a week. But my husband, on the other hand, he worked in downtown Kansas City. He had to fight traffic every day. He had to be there for a 9-hour span because he had to take a lunch break. And then a lot of times he got stuck working late. So he was gone about 6:30 in the morning to about 6:30 at night, which was about a total of 60 hours per week. So for him, it was a lot more. So calculate that up. What is it for you guys? Go ahead and type that in the chat, how many hours per week you currently dedicate to your job. If you don't have a job right now, how many hours per week would you have to dedicate to make the kind of money that you would make maybe at your goal number 2? How many hours would you have to work to be at comfortable and content goal? So type that in here. 40 hours for Helen, 48 to 60 for Lisa when she was working. All right, 40 plus for Michelle. Okay, great. Awesome. As you guys are 50 plus and on call. At my old jobs, I would spend 40 to 50. Okay, great. So now as you guys are typing this up, tell me, what is your preferred time? If you could pick, you don't have to worry about money, but if you could pick the amount of time that you could work ideally in a given week and still be able to reach your financial goals, what would your schedule be and how many hours per week would you work? Type that in the chat. So would you work 20 hours, 30 hours? Would you still want to work 40, or would you want to work less so you could have more time back? So type that one in the chat. And then also keep in mind too, with the bookkeeping business, not only can you decrease the amount of time that you work while increasing your income, but you can also have a very flexible schedule. So you can choose the day and the time that you work. So maybe you want to work like long days on Monday and Tuesday, but then you want to take the rest of the week off. Totally doable. You can do that. And you can also change it from week to week. So preferred time is 20 to 25 hours for Wendy, 15 to 20 for Kalani, 20 to 30 at the most weekly, 20 hours or less, right there with you guys. Helen says, I'm fine working 40 as long as it's from home and I don't have to get up early. Exactly. I almost never have meetings before 10 a.m. because I don't like to work in the morning either. So it's great because you can schedule that. And even now, as I've got the academy going and I've built up a really awesome team of rock stars, I sometimes only work about 15 hours a week right now. So it is really, really amazing to be able to build something that you can do that. And with a bookkeeping business, you can do it really quickly, which is awesome. So, okay, so now something that's fun, and we're going to get into these hours here pretty soon. I'm going to show you how much time that you guys can save. But a real fun thing is, where do you want to work from? What's your preferred work location? Are you wanting to work from home? So type home if that's where you're wanting to work. If any of you guys have a desire to work in the RV or just be able to take trips and, yes, going to the beach. We're in Palm Springs this week, and it's great because here I am working from my laptop. And then as soon as this webinar is over, we're going to go explore Palm Springs. How amazing is that? It's exactly what you guys can do while traveling. So talk about your preferred freedom. I know a lot of people that are in our academy, they have family all across the country. And actually we have this student who has a lot of family over in the UK. And for years, she hasn't been able to see them because, number one, she couldn't get time off from work to be able to make a trip over there, because you really got to stay for a week or two to make it worth it with the flights and everything, right? And then she didn't have the money. She didn't have the money to take that much time off work, and she didn't have the money to pay for the flights. But she posted in the academy a while back that she was able to go over with her family for like 6 weeks and spend a ton of time over there. And she just took her laptop with her. And it's just amazing to be able to do that. So home, beach while traveling for Glenn. Lisa wants to do it from home, but also travel. Wendy says home, but take trips with mom. Yes, absolutely. And you can do that as often as you want. You know what else is really cool? You could even pay for it for your mom. That's what I do sometimes, is take my mom and my family on trips, and I'll just be able to pay for it as well, which is great. Then home and mobile and home and travel. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Okay. And then another cool thing that you guys will want to jot down is, like, what are some additional goals that you're working towards? We all have them, right? But we never know how to reach them. So debt payoff is a very common one that I see for students in the academy who all wants to pay off some debt. It's amazing. I had this student, her name's Jara. She was one of my original students back in 2019, and she has 4 kids and she was homeschooling them, and her husband just either started a chiropractic practice or he partnered with somebody and he was working as a chiropractor, but he went to extended chiropractic school and he had about $160,000 worth of student loan debt. And she started her bookkeeping business specifically to help pay off his student loan debt. She had it all paid off in a little over 2 years, completely doing her bookkeeping business from home while she homeschooled her 4 kids. Now, I'm not going to say that was easy, because homeschooling 4 kids is not easy by itself. But she loved it. She loved working. She loved to be able to focus on that. And then she ended up making more money than her husband, and she paid off all of his student loan debt. He's out there doing his chiropractic work. She's home with the kids making more money as a bookkeeper than he was as a chiropractor who went to school for 8 years and spent $160,000 on his schooling. Can you believe that? It's crazy. But then I've also seen a lot of students buy their dream homes. I had a student named Chelsea who always wanted to buy a house, but they had been renters forever. They didn't see a way that they would ever be able to buy a house. She grew her bookkeeping business, and within a couple of years, they ended up buying like a house. It was a $525,000 house as their first home. So it's pretty cool to be able to do stuff like that. And then of course you can use this money to do investing. You can create your own retirement with your business. So you can fund your own 401ks, your own retirement savings, and even investing in real estate. So can you guys type in the chat, what are some additional goals that you have for yourself and your family that you would eventually like to accomplish with your business? Kalani says all of the above: debt-free, home ownership, investment, retirement. Awesome. Yes, I love that. This is so exciting to me. I'm running off of fumes here because we didn't get in until like 2 o'clock last night, and I got up at 6 to prepare for this. But I feel so energized talking about this stuff to you guys because it is so transformative, and it's so exciting for you guys to be able to start taking steps and making decisions to get to this point. Because I will tell you, there are times when this business can be hard and challenging, but you guys are going to have a community of people to help you through it. And I would never trade this for the world. I would never trade this for anything. So it's really exciting that you guys are here and getting to experience all this. So Kalani wants all of the above. Helen says pay off debt, get my mom's house fixed up and renovated. Love that. Glenn says retirement. Yes, I have a student who's actually building her bookkeeping business right now so that in 4 or 5 years, her and her husband can sell it as a retirement plan and just travel. So I'll tell you guys exactly how you can sell your businesses and what they're worth here pretty soon as well. Elisa wants to pay off debt, investments, retirement, debt payoff, investments. Ooh, pay for daughter's wedding. Yes, we all know weddings are expensive, and it's nice to be able to just say, you know what, this isn't even going to cause a blip in my budget, right? When you have a business and you control the money coming into your family, into your life, when big expenses come up like that, no big deal. I had this student named Robin. She lived in Alaska. She actually had 5 kids. Most of them were homeschooled as well. But one of her daughters went to the dentist and needed dental work done, and they got an $1,800 bill. And she was like, how am I going to pay for this? And so she went home, did some marketing on her computer, got a discovery call booked, and then she quoted this guy, ended up being an $1,800 cleanup job. So she was like, I'm so grateful for my business because every time an unexpected expense comes up, I can manifest more money by just turning on my marketing. It's fantastic. So you could completely fund your daughter's wedding and get her that dream dress that she wants. So Michelle says investment, pay off debt, help out my family, pay off debt for Whitney. Awesome. Love it, guys. These are great. Okay, so for us, we actually ended up buying a new car. I always wanted a new car, never had a brand new car. I'm not sure I would recommend it. I feel like brand new cars are overpriced, but sometimes it's just fun to do crazy things like that. But we got this car. It was a $45,000 brand new van back in 2016. But the cool thing about it is I got financed for this as a sole income for our bookkeeping business. My husband wasn't working anymore. The only income coming in was money from our bookkeeping business. And I was able to get this car. But then on top of that, I actually also paid it off within 6 months of having this car loan. So it was completely paid off, which is amazing because then we didn't have to worry about that car payment. And then since it was a brand new car, we didn't have to worry about any kind of problems with it either, which was great. We actually still drive this car today. I keep thinking about trading it in, but I don't know. It works still. It's working great. But we also ended up, using our freedom and our finances to be able to finally take that vacation that I wanted. This is the first time we actually, really got to realize some of those goals and those dreams that we had for our family that we always talked about, but we had no idea how we were ever going to achieve, right? So this is when we went on a 16-day vacation across the country. We stopped at Estes Park, Colorado, went hiking. That's that a left picture on the bottom. We were in the parking lot there checking into our cabin. And then we went to Mission Beach, California, and we did some beach stuff there for like 10 days. And then we went to the Grand Canyon before coming home, which was really, really, really awesome. Always wanted to take an extended vacation like that. I'd never been able to go anywhere for more than like 4 or 5 days at a time because I never had vacation and I didn't have the money to do it. But this was awesome because when we went on this trip, I almost didn't even have to work at all. I took my laptop with me, kind of like what I'm doing now. I did the bare minimum that I needed to on this trip, and I got to just fully enjoy it. Then when I got back from the vacation, I just got caught up on my bookkeeping clients when I got back. The cool thing about bookkeeping is sometimes there are deadlines, but for the most part, it's on a monthly rolling deadline. So you can change up what you have going on throughout the month. And as long as your clients have their financials by sometime in the first couple of weeks of the next month, then you're good to go. So there's a lot of flexibility with how you structure your work day and your work week throughout the month to be able to accommodate a lot of travel like this, which is really, really great. So now I want to pivot to showing you guys the actual roadmap by utilizing a bookkeeping business so that you know exactly how you can achieve these goals that we've talked about and the timeline. How long is it going to take you? Okay, so the first chart that I want to show you guys is approximately how long it's going to take you to reach these goals based on monthly maintenance fees. So when you have a bookkeeping business, there's like 4 or 5 different ways that you can bring in money, revenue, income to your family. But the main one that we focus on is monthly maintenance, which is reoccurring monthly fees that your clients pay you every single month to keep up on their bookkeeping. So this is going to be something that's as predictable as your paycheck, right? You can count on this every single month. Your clients pay it like clockwork. We show you how to make sure it goes out of their account and into your account on the first of the month for every single month. So you're going to get paid up front, and then you'll be able to pay all your bills for the month and you're good to go for the next month and have all that excess, right? So I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like and the time frame on this chart here, but also keep in mind that there is a lot of other ways you can make money too, but this one is the most dependable and consistent. So once you reach these various levels, if you decide, hey, I'm good, you don't want to look for any more clients, you can just continue to coast and then just grow naturally as people get referred to you. So what we typically see is as you grow your business, it takes a little bit of time to get momentum going with your marketing. But once you do, you usually grow by about $1,000 per month for every month that you are in business. So for example, if you get in right away, you set up your business and you start the marketing plan that we teach you, within about 2 months of being in the academy with your bookkeeping business launched, you're going to make about $2,000 per month. And so by like 5 months in, you're going to make about $5,000. This is a little bit of an average, but this is typically what we see from most of our students that follow our plan exactly like we lay it out. So this is also based on a student that is our average student, which most of them are working full-time jobs and they have young kids at home. So they have limited time available to be able to spend on their bookkeeping business. But we ask if you can spend about an hour a day on marketing your business, you will hit these levels in this approximate time frame. So if you can type in the chat, what month would it be for you to reach your very first goal, that financial goal, number one, the bare minimum goal? For me, it was $2,000. So it's what, like November 2nd or something like that, right? Yeah, November 2nd. So if I started my business today, I would be at my first bare minimum goal by the beginning of the year, January. So type in, when will you reach your first goal? Glenn says by 4 months. Kalani says 3 months. Okay, great. That is in February, right? February 1st, you'd be at that. January, February for Helen, January, 2 months. And Glenn says, what is the average time a client stays with a bookkeeper? That is a great question. I can't really exactly say the average time, but I would say you can expect to keep the majority, like 80 to 90% of your clients for years, maybe even a decade or more. There are always the one-off situations where clients like close their business, or maybe it's not a good fit. You guys have different personalities. You don't like working with them, or they, don't mesh with you, something like that. So there's always those few instances where it doesn't work out with a client, but I'd say like a good 80 to 90% of your clients will probably stay with you for years. Clients find it really painful to switch their bookkeeping over, because when you guys do bookkeeping for them, you get to know them really well. You get to know their spending habits, you get to know their business, and you get access to everything. When they switch over, they've got to remove all of that. They've got to go find somebody new that they can trust, which is very scary for a lot of people, because this is their financial data. They want to work with somebody that they develop a relationship with and they trust. That's why you guys can be so successful at this, even if you don't have previous bookkeeping experience, because people care more about the fact that they know you and that you're going to take care of them than they want to know about all of your qualifications. So, as you're working with people and new clients and new potential clients, as long as you build a connection with them, then they're going to be good to go. But yeah, great question. And most clients will stay with you for a long time. So I had my bookkeeping business for 4 years before I started the academy. And when I sold my bookkeeping business, pretty much all of the clients that I got in my first year were still with me, which was really cool. So I love how you guys are averaging between like 2 to 5 months of being able to hit your first goal. So that's really, really exciting. I love that. And that's great, because then you guys can work on your next goal, right? And obviously, if you guys have more time than what our average student would have, then you can reach these goals faster, right? So if you aren't working right now and you've got a ton of time you want to put into this, you'll speed through this. The other cool thing is that we're coming up on tax season as well, which our students usually get to these goals a lot faster too with tax season. So if you get started now, get your business set up, get your marketing plan going, then by the time tax season gets here, you may jump these levels pretty quickly, which is really awesome. And then if you think about it, if 2 months into starting the academy, you're already making $2,000 a month, do you guys see how easy it is to continue to make those monthly payments to the lender? That's $640. This is why they're so comfortable with approving everybody, because they know that you're going to be able to have additional income coming in to easily cover the payments. So let's see. Helen says, how fast can I scale my bookkeeping business if it's my main focus because I don't have another job? I'm sure other people have been in that situation. How fast did they do? Yeah, great question. So one of the girls that I interviewed on my podcast, her name is Jen Beckwith. She grew her bookkeeping business. At first, it was slower because she was just kind of working on her mindset, working on building up her confidence. Some people need to do that more in the beginning than others, and that sometimes will slow down these results. But if you are willing to work on that and not let anything stop you, you can blow past these results, because once Jennifer did that and she got her mindset straight, she took off. She exploded. So you can watch her podcast interview. It talks about how much money she made, about $120,000 in 7 months. 7 months of the academy. But now she's been in there. Let's see, what is this month? November. She's been in August, September, December. She's been in 15 months now, and she has over 25 clients now. So there is no glass ceiling to this. So I really like it, because if you're the type of person that really wants to see how much effort can I put into this and how much money can I pull out of it, you can really take it as far as you want. I just went to Jamaica with Kaylee and Jason Douglas a couple of weeks ago. They are some of our original students as well. Started about 4 years ago when we started the academy. I interviewed her on the podcast too. And just in the first 4 years of her business, she made a total of 520 some thousand dollars in those subsequent past years. But this year alone, she's on track to make $500,000 just literally in this year. And so she's going on the start of her 5th year in business. And during this time, she had another baby, they grew their family, and she retired her husband, and her kids have been staying home up until like this year when her daughter went to kindergarten, one of her daughters, so her oldest. And the other cool thing is Kaylee started this when she was 23, and she was a pharmacy technician. She didn't have any bookkeeping or accounting skills or anything like that. And Kaylee's also still in our academy, so you guys will get to network with her and be able to, lean on her for advice. And she even comes to the Zoom calls and hosts some of them sometimes, which is really cool. But that just kind of shows you, like, just depending on what your goals are, if you put in the time, you can make it whatever you want. And we're here to help you in the academy, meet you at your pace. So if you're somebody that just wants to make $3,000, $4,000 a month, and you want to spend the rest of that time now with your family, with your kids, and you're good for now, you want to ramp it up maybe later, that's fine. We're going to work at your pace. But Helen, if you want to go crazy with this and you want to make $10,000 or $20,000 per month in your first year, and you want to like hit the ground running like crazy, we're going to meet you at that pace too. And we're going to keep giving you things and pushing you to resources and courses and lessons in our program that will help you continue to get past the various stages and reach those goals. So let me know if you guys have any particular questions on that. But at this point, I want to show you guys, like, to make this kind of money, how many clients do you actually need to find to make this money, right? I've shown you the timeline of how long it takes to get there, but what does that mean in terms of clients? So take a look at this chart and tell me, how many clients do you need to reach your first bare minimum goal? So for me, that $2,000 mark, I only need 4 clients. Now, this chart is based on a lot of things. It's based on, number one, when I worked in a CPA firm, I used to do the bookkeeping work. I knew how long it took me, and I knew how much my boss was charging. So I knew if I wanted to make $2,000 per month, that I would only need about 4 clients based on how he charged. I did that. I replicated that for myself. I proved that that was true for me. And then we've helped thousands of other people do it. And so this is true for them too. Now, every client is going to be slightly different, because we base our monthly fixed fees on how big they are, what industry they're in, and how organized their business accounts are. So depending on the client that you get, if they're outside the average range of our client monthly fee, which is about $500 a month average per client, you may need less clients to reach this goal. So to give you guys a couple examples of what the range looks like, we had a student named Kim. Back in October last year, she joined. So she's in her 13th month of business. But she joined and she got her first client. And this client was a larger plumbing company. And because they were larger and they wanted some extra help with other things, she was able to charge them $2,200 per month. So instead of 4 clients to reach that first goal, Kim only needed 1. To give you another example of how, there can be a little bit of a range, is when I was making $20,000 a month in my bookkeeping business, I only had 33 clients. I didn't need the 40 that was listed here. But this is an average. It gives you guys an idea of how many people that you're going to be looking for, how many clients that you're going to be working with, and that you would need to reach these goals. So Helen says she would only need 6 clients to reach her first goal. Same with Kalani. Cindy says, how much time requirement is allotted each day for academy learning and courses? Great question. Beatrice says she needs 8 clients. Okay, awesome. So Cindy, when you first get started, we just want you to go through some basic learning, some basic courses, so that you understand how to communicate with a client, how to get through all of that starting process. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, when you start a business, there's always lots of things to learn, right? Especially in bookkeeping, there's always going to be new things to learn. So we want you to learn the basic stuff that you need to learn in order to start making money. And then over time, we're going to support you to help fill in the gaps as you're building your business and as you're bringing in money for your family. So this is like not the same as college in the fact that when you go to school, you go for 4 years, you learn all this stuff, and then you graduate, boom, you're done. And then you got to try to figure out, number one, how do I apply this information? Number two, how do I make money with it? How do I find a job, right? That's how college works. Our program is going to teach you the bare minimum that you need to feel comfortable putting yourself out there and getting started. And then as you are making money, as you are building a business, as you are actually having results, then you're going to keep learning. You're going to keep adding to that knowledge. You're going to keep advancing your, skills in this. So to get that bare minimum learning done, we recommend 1 to 2 hours per day in the beginning. If you do that, you should be completely set up, ready to go, ready to launch your marketing plan with just in a couple of weeks, if you have a couple hours a day to allot to it. Then once you get past that part, then we really recommend that you just spend a solid hour every day on marketing. If you spend a solid hour on marketing, you should be able to get these clients in that time frame that I showed you on the previous slide. So let me know if that brings up any additional questions. Happy to explain. All right, so it looks like Cindy says she needs 16 clients. Okay, that's for 8,000. So was that your first goal, your bare minimum goal? Look what your bare minimum goal was, and then see how many clients that you're going to need to reach that. So I'm going to show you guys now on the next slide what the potential client pool is. So this chart here shows the total number of small businesses in the US over the last 6 years. So this was from 2017 through 2022. There were 33.2 million businesses just in the US alone in 2022. And as you can see from this chart, every single year it grows. In fact, there's over 500,000 small businesses that are starting up every single month in the US. Tons. And they're, bookkeepers and accountants are retiring. All of the older guys that are doing this stuff, they're all retiring. And going into accounting for school isn't really very popular right now. People don't want to work long hours during tax season. The pay as a staff accountant is very low. So there's been a decline in people that are even interested in getting accounting degrees right now. So there is a shortage of people with the skills and knowledge to be able to do this. So as you can see, there are clients literally everywhere you turn, new ones every single month. And then there's a shortage of people to actually help them. I have students right now that are getting handed entire books of business from older CPAs or tax people that just don't want to do the bookkeeping anymore. Literally, they're just giving clients to people. So, if that tells you something. And then, like I mentioned, I only had 33 clients when I was making $20,000 a month. So it's a small drop in the bucket of how many actual potential clients are out there for you guys to make insane money, right? But it also really helps that bookkeeping is a required service. It's not like a luxury item like makeup or Scentsy or candles or, whatever. Business owners have to have this done. It's not an option. You can't file your taxes or get business loans if you don't have clean and clear financials to present to them. So they can either try to figure it out themselves or they hire someone like you to do it for them. And the reason they do that is because they don't have time to learn how to do bookkeeping. It's not that it's hard. It's just they're focused on finding customers for their business and servicing their customers and focusing on the core thing that they're doing in their business. And they don't want to deal with the bookkeeping, and they don't want to learn to be a bookkeeper because that's not their business. They don't make money that way. So, but it is something that they already know the value of, because it usually becomes a pain point pretty quickly when they don't have their bookkeeping done and they really need it. So it's really easy to find clients that need this help, and to also convince them of the value because they already know. So now I want you guys to type a yes or a no in the chat. Type a yes if you feel like, based on this potential client pool, that you feel like reaching that first number of clients is doable for you. Type no if you still feel like it's going to be really hard to find that many clients. Awesome. Mostly yeses. Okay. Okay. Checking on you, Helen. Make sure you feel like it is. Okay. So yeah, there's just so many clients everywhere. It's really awesome. Okay. Let's see. The next slide is my favorite one of the entire presentation, especially for those of you guys that are wanting to do this so that you have more time. It might take a few months, but apparently where I live, there is a lot of potential. Yep, probably so. Where is it that you live, Cindy? Here is my favorite slideshow of the whole presentation. I love this because this shows you guys exactly how long it's going to take you to do the bookkeeping work each week for the amount of clients that you have at these various revenue levels. Yeah, there's a lot of clients in Canada. I have a friend that used to work with me for a while here in the academy. And then she saw everybody getting so much success in the academy that she said, I want to be a student instead of working on your team. And so she became a student. She actually also still works for us a little bit because she likes to help coach people. She's one of our mindset coaches. She's from Canada. And she and her husband decided to start the bookkeeping business. And within 3 months, she made 20 grand, $20,000. And she is not trained in bookkeeping at all. Her husband's in IT, and she used to be in corporate marketing for McDonald's. Crazy. So anyway, okay, back to this chart. If you, let's say for your first goal of $2,000 per month, you can expect it to take about 4 hours per week to handle all of the bookkeeping work for the clients that you have at that income level. So this is the number one reason why I started my business, because I was working at a CPA firm. I was doing the bookkeeping. I could see how long it took me, but I could also see what my boss was charging. So I knew if I quit my job and I just got, 2, 3, 4 clients at that level, that I would only have to work 4 hours a week, bring in the same amount of money, and then I could spend all that extra 36 hours per week with my new daughter. So really, really awesome about how much time that you can save here. So I want you guys to look at this chart, figure out how much do you make right now at your full-time job, or if you worked a full-time job, how much would you get paid? And then look at the hours there, and then type in the chat, do a little math in your head, type in the chat, how many hours per week would you save if you started your bookkeeping business? So let's say I was making $3,500 before I paid the nanny. I'll round up to 4,000. And I was working 40 hours a week. So if you look at this chart, 4,000, that's 8 hours. I would have saved 32 hours per week if I did my bookkeeping business instead of working my full-time job. Yes, Helen, exactly. $20,000 in 3 months. And Robin does a call every Friday in our group, and you can pick her brain all you want. Of course, she followed all the marketing that I teach in the program, and that's exactly how they got all these clients. And the cool thing is, like what I tell you guys, Robin, and I interviewed her for my podcast. It's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks, but one of the reasons that Robin was able to get to that success so fast is that she's already worked on her mindset. She had nothing holding her back, no fear. So she just went for it. When you can conquer that, you're going to reach these goals so fast. If you've got to conquer some things like that first, no problem. We're going to help you with that. Might just take you a little bit longer, but this is a possibility when you can just go for it, right? So Helen, if you want to go for it, you can go for it. 20K in 3 months is so doable. I mean, I've had lots of students do that. Jose says he would save 32 hours. Beatrice would also, all of you guys are going to save 32 hours. This is incredible. I love it. That's weird. All of you guys. Okay, Helen says, I'd need 12 or 14 hours a week to match my old income. So that would be 26 or 28 hours saved. Awesome. Awesome. And what I really, really like about this is that you can choose what you want to do with that extra time. So maybe you want to pick up a hobby. I've had phases in my business where sometimes I decide I want to spend it with my family. Like I want to tap back into being that like homeschooling, stay-at-home mom. Sometimes I want to reinvest it in my business so that I can get to the next level. So you can do that. Or sometimes I want to vacation. Sometimes I want to take that extra time and do some fun things. I am currently learning how to play the drums, and it is so fun. And I don't even have to worry about trying to squeeze that in our busy evenings. I can do it whenever I want. So it's really awesome, but you get to choose how you want to spend all this extra time that you're going to be saving. You can choose however you want to spend it, which is awesome. And if you do choose to reinvest some of that back into your business, then you're going to get to the next level and the next level and the next level. And I'm going to show you what you can do with that once you keep hitting these new higher levels. But if you guys have any desire, feel free to snap a screenshot. This is all the charts combined. If you want to share this with anybody, the average student results that it takes in terms of time, and then what you can expect as far as your reoccurring monthly income. And then once you have these clients, how many hours per week it actually takes you to do the bookkeeping, and the approximate number of clients that you are going to need. So this is kind of like a mesh of all those charts all put together. So type in the chat if you guys have any specific questions on any of this that we've covered so far. Wendy says, I need to get back on a good schedule. Yeah, and you can create your own schedule and figure out what works best for you and your business, which is great. So now that we've gone over potential, how much time does the marketing take per week? So I suggest an hour a day, 5 days a week on average. Now we do have a few different marketing things where sometimes it takes a little bit of time to set up, and then it doesn't take hardly any time at all throughout the week. Other things take, where you could just do it all on Wednesday, like 4 or 5 hours on a Wednesday, and then not have to worry much about the rest of the week, or maybe do 20, 30 minutes the rest of the week. Can do like that, or, just an hour a day, whatever you want to do. But that's really it. I asked Robin specifically when I interviewed her for the podcast, when she made the $20,000 in 3 months, how much time did you spend on marketing? And she did confirm that it was about 5 hours per week is what she was spending. So if that gives you any indication, if you want to spend 10 or 20 or 30 hours a week on marketing, you're going to just get more clients. Now, what typically happens is if you do have a lot of time to spend on marketing in the beginning, once the clients start rolling in, what I typically see students do is they kind of just stop marketing for a little bit so they can focus on, okay, now I got these clients, how do we do a really good job for them? And so, of course, in our academy, we help you with every single piece of it, and we'll help you learn how to take good care of them, help you learn how to do the bookkeeping, give them the reports that they need, things like that. So when you get your first few clients, that can sometimes slow you down, because then you got to learn that stuff. Now, Robin is doing this with her husband, so she didn't ever turn off the marketing because her husband would also help her do the bookkeeping. So that was also one thing. But since you aren't working, Wendy, and for anybody else that isn't working, you could still keep the marketing going even though you're getting clients, because you've just got more bandwidth, Wendy says, I used to do something like this at one of my old jobs, payment posting. I also have good data entry skills. Great. Yeah, data entry is what you're going to be doing mostly. It's 80% data entry, 20% you're going to be learning higher level bookkeeping skills. So data entry is the majority of what you're going to be doing. And the only other skill that we usually tell people we think you should possess if you want to do this business is just having attention to detail. And if you feel like you can work on that area, it's something that you can just also develop, over time. But data entry, attention to detail, willingness to learn, those are the only traits or skills that you need to have. That's it. So great question. Okay, so we've talked about how much money you can make, how little you can work in a bookkeeping business, how quickly you can get to these goals. So is anybody feeling skeptical? How does this high money, low time business work? Does anybody feel like this sounds too good to be true? Or how does this even work? It seems like everybody should do this, right? So type a yes in the chat if you kind of feel like this is too good to be true. You're not really sure how this could actually work out for you. Is that something that people are thinking? Okay, great. Awesome. So now I want to talk about how this works, the reasons behind it. The first thing I want to go into is when you have a bookkeeping business, you're going to make $100 an hour minimum for most of your clients. For a lot of people, that's well, that's crazy, right? That doesn't make sense. We do it in fixed price packages that are based on how big the client is. So we know that they can afford it based on their revenue and their size, and it's easy for them to budget. But we also help you do the work in a way that you can get it done quickly. And so I'll go over those two things here in a second. But also another thing too is, well, let me just show you guys this. Lena says, I think it makes sense just more of sticking to the commitment with an already busy life. Yes, exactly. 100%, Lena. You have to be able to prioritize this because if you get in the academy, your business isn't going to build itself, right? We show you how to do it. We give you access to everything that you need. We support you and we help you, but we don't do it for you, right? You have to do it for yourself. So it has to be something that is a priority. And I will say for our average student that is working full-time, has kids at home, it's not easy in the beginning. You're juggling a lot. But if you can put your head down and focus on this for a few months and get yourself to the point where maybe you can quit your job and be able to have that freedom, it's going to change everything for you. But I will say for busy people with kids at home, it's hard in the beginning. There will be sacrifices that you will have to make. Helen says, I think the math aspect scares people. I was telling an also out of work friend about this, but anything math gives her hives. Well, it's super funny because I cannot do mental math at all. I use my calculator for everything. And even QuickBooks Online has built-in calculators. So it's not really the most math you're ever going to have to do is addition, subtraction, maybe some division or multiplication, but you can use the built-in calculators for that. Bookkeeping is more of organizing. It's organizing the financial data. It's organizing the numbers into and utilizing business concepts. So it's actually really not math related, but people do think that a lot. Yes. Okay. So, I'm going to give you guys an explanation of how all of this works. And the first thing that make these results possible for you guys is proper quoting. So this is key. It's the most important step behind how all of this works. If you don't charge correctly, you're obviously going to create problems for yourself, right? So getting the proper quoting process down is really one of the main things that we work on in the academy. It's not a perfect easy thing to do right out of the gate because every client is slightly different. They're different size, different industry, they have different needs. Not every business is exactly the same. So what we do in our academy is we give you access to a quoting tool and a script of questions that you ask your client. And then when they give you the answers, you can input those into our quoting tool. It gives you a monthly fee that it recommends. And then of course you can always run it by our team and we go over every single quote with our students to make sure that it is covering everything. But we've helped thousands of students, and we've helped people quote thousands and thousands of clients. So we have this down pretty much to a science. It usually takes our students about 6 months or so to really get this down. They've worked with enough businesses, quoted enough businesses to really say, I totally understand how to do this now because of the experience that you gain. Now, if you underquote, you're going to be working like an employee, and then this business isn't going to build you the freedom that you want. If you quote properly, it will. And so that's one of the main things that we really work on in the academy as one of the key pillars to making these results work out the way that they do. Jose says, how do you get past imposter syndrome? That is a great question. So according to Tony Robbins, imposter syndrome is just a fancy word for fear, right? So you feel like an imposter because you are nervous about putting yourself out there because you think somebody's going to think you're a fraud. Well, I also interviewed, you guys know Elena Cardone. I interviewed her about 6 months ago, and I asked her this question, and she said, an imposter is somebody that's trying to commit fraud. And you guys are not imposters, but you're novices, right? You are learning how to do this. You may be new. And is it your intent to help these businesses, or is it your intent to defraud them? For every one of you on this call, I'm sure your intent is to make money with your business because you're helping other businesses with their bookkeeping, right? So if you have to remind yourself all the time that this is an important service that you're going to be offering people, and that you may not know everything, but you're going to do right by your customer no matter what. So that's how my students typically get past imposter syndrome. You're still going to feel nervous. You're still going to feel scared to talk to people. I'll show, well, on my weekly wins that I posted yesterday, I think Molly mentioned that she had a call with a CPA, and then they wanted to meet in person, and she was super nervous about it. But most people are very nice and receptive because you're going to be working with people that are business owners. And one day in the past, they were in your shoes when they were getting out there, starting their own business too. So most of them understand that feeling of putting yourself out there in the beginning. But we also help with imposter syndrome by being honest with clients as well. You know, what we tend to tell our students to say if your clients ask, hey, how long have you been doing this or whatever? You can say, well, I recently just started my business. So there may be times where you have a question for me and I don't know the answer right away, but I'm part of this really awesome network of bookkeepers and accountants. And if you ever have a question that you need answered, let me know. And if I can't answer it, I know I can find the answer for you, and usually within 24 hours. That's what our students tell their clients. And then you can come to our group and you can say, oh my God, my client asked me this question. I have no idea what they're talking about. And our team will teach you what you need to know to understand what the question means, how to answer it. And then you can go back to your client, look like a rock star, answer the question, and then you've got that knowledge for the future. So you will probably feel fear, and you'll probably feel like an imposter at times. I still feel like that in my business, and I've been a business owner for, is it 8 years? 8 years now, 8.5 years. So, what you do learn though is how to ignore it. Our brains are just hardwired to help us like alert to danger, whatever we sense is danger. But nowadays, half the time our brain is wrong at trying to scare us from doing something. So what you get used to as a business owner is learning when your brain is trying to trick you, and you learn to just move past it. We have a saying in the academy, feel the fear and do it anyway. So does that help, Jose? And Lena says, have you ever had clients who just want to pay an annual amount versus a monthly fee? And if so, do you suggest or offer like a discounted rate to get your client locked in? You can absolutely do that. But I will say 1% of clients that I've ever either worked with myself or seen my students work with have ever paid an annual fee for future work. Now, I'll tell you guys all about how you can get big, giant lump sum fees for back work, but I rarely ever see people pay upfront for future work. It's definitely something that you could offer, though, if you want to get more cash flow coming in at the beginning. But the hard part about that is then you got to do the work for a whole year and you're not going to get any more money in. So it can be a little bit harder to budget and stuff like that. So, okay, so there are two key pillars into how this high money, low time business works. Like I mentioned, the first one is proper quoting, right? You got to get that down. We got to get it right. So that way you have enough money coming in to cover your time, right? And then the second piece is understanding how to do this work in an efficient way. So there's like, 100 different ways you could do bookkeeping. And if you don't know exactly what you should be providing, you may get stuck in this trap of like offering to do way more for them than should really be provided given the services that they want or that they're paying for. So we help you guys set really healthy boundaries with your clients and then also understand exactly how to do it in the most efficient way possible. And then if your clients are asking for more, we show you how to upsell them into larger packages that include additional things that they want help with. That's called scope creep that we help you with. But basically, when you have proper quoting, clear boundaries, and efficient workflow, those things come together. That's how you guys make $100 per hour. Your clients don't even know that that's how much money you make because they're just paying you a fixed fee and they have no idea how long it takes to do the bookkeeping. They don't know. They just know that this is a fee I can afford and I get my bookkeeping done every month with financials and they're happy. And then the cool thing is, as you've worked with them for 2, 3, 4 months, you start to get even more efficient and more fast with their books, and you can leverage some of the built-in automations within QuickBooks Online and be able to even speed up your time. So I have students that sometimes make $200 to $300 an hour on special projects because of things like this, which is really cool. So Beatrice, I hate that you have to leave, but I will have Sean send you the recording to this so you can pick up where you left off, but feel free to hop back on after your meetings if we're still here. But so those are the two main things that help make this work. But then there is like a third little feature that we have too, that we are helping you build this business right from day one. As a beginner business owner, we're going to help you build it with the end in mind. So a lot of times when people start businesses, they're just thinking, I need to get out of my job. I need to make money. But they're not realizing how they set up their business right from the beginning is going to have an impact on their future. And when we help you set it up the way that I teach, it is going to have you set up for success for years, not just in the short term, but long term. So we're going to build the business with the end in mind. And there's two sub pillars of what this can do for you as well. The first one is when you do the proper quoting and the efficient workflow and build the business the way we suggest, your business is going to be profitable if you decide to ever hire anybody in the future. So like, for example, Helen, if you want to go crazy and grow this as fast as you can, but maybe you still want to only work 20 hours a week, you're going to want to hire a team to help you because then you can have unlimited money coming in, but other people are going to be doing a lot of the work for you. So when you get new clients, it doesn't always mean more time and more work, right? So we want your business to be able to be profitable for future employees right from the beginning. I have some students in the academy that have only been in there for 9 months and they're already hiring people. Okay. So we want them to be able to not have to change up their entire business model just because they want to hire a team. You're going to be ready for it right away. Now, in the beginning, before you need to hire anybody, you kind of get a double benefit. You're getting the pay as the business owner, but you also get to keep the money that you would have had to pay an employee for, which is why you can make so much money and work so little because you've got that like double whammy right there. Lena says, would you say that during the pandemic, your business was still profitable and are able to still obtain clients during a circumstance like that? Oh man, 100%. You should have seen all the students exploding during the pandemic because you know why? Every single business needed their financials because they needed to apply for the EIDL loans, the PPP loans, all that stuff. So bookkeepers were exploding their businesses because all these businesses were scrambling to get their financials done. So a really cool thing about a bookkeeping business is no matter if the economy is good or really horrible, we are always going to be in high demand because it is essential for you to have clear financials when things are going well, but even more so when they're not, which is really, really great for us too. And if you guys want to Google if you Google top most profitable businesses that you can do, Forbes.com published an article that lists bookkeeping in the top 3 of all businesses that you could do that are the most profitable. The very top one is a lawyer. Obviously, you guys can't do that unless you go to law school, right? But anybody can be a bookkeeper. The only places in the whole world that have requirements on bookkeeping is New Zealand and Australia. They're the only 2 countries or places in the entire world that actually require some kind of certification to be a bookkeeper. But US, Canada, UK does not. You don't have to have any special requirements. But let me just talk a little bit more about these employees. So if you take a look back at this chart that we looked at about the income versus time commitment again, right? If you look down at the bottom, if you wanted to work a 40-hour full-time work week, that's $20,000 per month in your bookkeeping business. So if you wanted to work that, that's how much you're going to make. And that's an average. Like my husband and I worked total combined hours about 33 to 35 hours when we were making $20,000 a month. So, but on average, you can make $20,000 a month working full time. Now, think about that in terms of if you decide to hire a full-time bookkeeper to work for you and they work 40 hours a week, they're going to be able to handle the client work that is about $20,000 per month of income. Okay. So $20,000 a month coming in, your full-time bookkeeper is handling all the work. Do you know what the going rate is for a full-time bookkeeper? It's about $4,000 a month. So we have a lot, like not a lot, but some people in our academy that are leaving bookkeeping or CPA jobs, kind of like what I had when I started my business, and they are making about $4,000 a month. So let's just round up. Let's say you're going to pay this person really well. You're going to pay them $5,000 a month. You're bringing in $20,000, paying them $5,000, and they're doing all of the work. You're just going to be reviewing them, overseeing them, right? So you're going to still have a $15,000 monthly profit for every single full-time person that you have on your team if they're working efficiently, right? And so this is how you're able to scale your business and still make a ton of money without having to work 40, 60, 80 hours a week to, max out your goals. You can leverage a team and other people to help do some of this work so that you can still have the work-life balance you desire, but an unlimited income. So type in the chat, yes, if you would love to get to the point where you hire employees to be able to help you with this. You can still make however much money you want to make, but be able to leverage a team to do this. So yes. Okay. Awesome. And we have programs that you can graduate into. We're actually going to be rolling out a new operations program probably in January where we'll help you build a rockstar team, a team of A players that are motivated to not only get this work done, but get it done efficiently and focus on helping you reach your business goals. So that's what I have built internally with my Bookkeeper Academy team. Everyone on the team is fully bought in and excited to be able to not only help us reach our goals in the academy, but to help all of you guys as our clients and students reach your goals in your business. And it's very motivating and exciting. So we have the ability to help you guys do that. Usually what we see is people will graduate our 12-month academy program and upgrade into our mastermind where we actually help you learn how to be a rock star boss and have a rock star team. Lena says, would that be with the idea of hiring someone who has a bookkeeper certification or a CPA license? So there's a lot of different ways that you can staff your team. We've had people that hire contractors at the beginning, hire other students in our academy because they know they have the support to be trained. We also have people that do look for people that are classically trained, have certifications, CPAs and things like that. So depending on your goals, when you get to this point, everybody's business starts to look a little bit different. So we work more closely with you in the mastermind to help you determine, what do you want your business to look like as you scale to $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 per month? What do you want your team to look like? And then we help you find those people. But for the most part, like, I'm helping Kaylee and Jason Douglas with this right now too. And we have gone different angles in the past, but right now what we're focusing on is finding high-level people that already have these skills that just don't want to be a business owner, because there are people out there that have zero desire to do this. So yeah, so then we can find those people, we can pull them into your team and incentivize them to, you know, hit these goals, hit these times, do a great job with these clients, and help you grow your business, which is really cool. So the last thing that we're going to be doing to help you guys get these results that make this possible is building the business with the end in mind, in case in the future you ever have plans to sell it. So most people don't think about this when they first start their business, but if you do, and if you do it right from the beginning, you're basically having a built-in retirement plan, because these businesses are really attractive to investors if you set them up this way. Investors love the fact that there is a business with reoccurring income. Every month you have money coming in from the same clients, a high profit margin, even after paying team members to do most of the work. And then eventually we get you to the point where your business doesn't even need you. It operates on a day-to-day basis without you. Investors love that, because then they know if they buy your business, it's not going to come crashing down just because you're gone. So we help you set it up this way, so that way investors will be attracted to your business and one day you can sell it. Now, what you can get for your business is anywhere between like 1 to 2 times your annual revenue. So if you have a smaller business, let's say you build it up and you're making $200,000 a year and you decide, I'm going to sell it for whatever reason, you can actually sell it for about $200,000. If you grow it a little bit longer, let's say you're making $1 million a year and you decide, I'm going to sell it. At that point, you could potentially sell it for $2 million. So as it gets bigger, the multiple gets bigger, which is really cool. But either way, this can be like a built-in retirement plan or whatever. So we want you to build the business with all of this stuff in mind. So that way, if you have these opportunities present themselves in the future, you're already set up and ready to go with it. But in the meantime, you're getting the benefit from all of this because you're the only person that's working in it. So you're getting like a double, triple whammy. Does that make sense, guys? Lena says, oh, okay. I was going to say, if they had the same material, why wouldn't they want to do it themselves? But there are some who just don't want to be business owners. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's at a different stage in their life, and you guys are all here because you're wanting freedom. You're wanting freedom. You're wanting time. You know, you're wanting to do something like this for your family. Not everybody's at that place in their life, right? So, and some people like to help build and be part of things. Like, I have a lot of people on my team. They're not starting bookkeeping businesses, but they're actually getting to be little entrepreneurs within my company too. And you guys can create that same feel for your companies that really motivate your team to want to continue to help you grow your business because they are feeling empowered in their position. One thing that's really cool that we help teach people is, most people that are bosses don't understand how to be a boss. And that's why most of us felt alienated at our jobs and we don't like our jobs. I mean, all of you guys are probably here because you feel undervalued and underpaid, right? I know I did. That's why I quit my job at my CPA firm. And looking back, I actually feel bad for my boss because he had no idea how to motivate me, how to get me to be a more integral part of his team. And I wanted to work my way up and be a partner in his firm, but he didn't have a path for me. He didn't have a plan, and he didn't know how to do that. And that's one thing that we do teach in our mastermind is how you can give your employees that empowerment, and then they want to help you grow your business too. So, but you guys wouldn't be here if you didn't have bosses that, if they knew how to do that, then you'd be happy. You'd be happy in your positions, right? But you're not. So now let's just build your own thing, and then you can be an amazing boss, right? So let's pivot really quick. So I want to tell you guys here, the more money that you can make, because one thing we haven't even talked about yet is the back work and cleanup opportunities. So I've shown you guys how you can make $100 an hour. I've shown you guys how quickly you can get up to your monthly reoccurring revenue. But the other cool thing is when you get a new client, 9 times out of 10, and I am not exaggerating here, 9 times out of 10, your client is going to be behind in their bookkeeping. Maybe it's months, more likely it's probably years. You would be shocked to know that, but so many businesses put this off, and they put it off and they put it off until it becomes a problem. And they either are getting tax notices, or they need a loan desperately, or whatever. And they just need their bookkeeping caught up, and then they want to keep it caught up. But what's really great about that is every time you get a new client, you're going to get to charge them for the back work. In addition to the monthly fee that you're going to get every month going forward, keeping them caught up, you get to charge them for all of the back work that needs to be done too, which is great. Here's why it's great. Number one, it's a huge monthly or a huge one-time sign-on bonus is what I call it, or a Christmas bonus that you get for every client, which is exciting and awesome. And then it's also an awesome learning opportunity. When you get a cleanup job, you'll get to go through the whole process of helping this client from start to finish for like a whole year time period or multiple years. And the amount of learning and understanding that happens when you go through a cleanup job like that gives you so much confidence to be able to help the next person. And of course, we help you with that whole strategy, all the steps that go into that. But it's really awesome. And I'll show you guys some examples of what you can expect as far as making money when you have clients that need back work. This is something that can help you pay off your academy investment really quickly. It can also help you knock off some of those bucket list items faster than you think, or be able to even quit your job ahead of schedule because you'll have this cushion in your savings. So I'll go over those here in 1 second. Alina says, yes, so important to pour into those that help keep your business successful. Yes, absolutely. Wendy says, I'm good at cleanup work. I'm a bulldog at times when I'm searching for imbalances. Yeah, exactly. And it's fun. The cleanup jobs can be fun. It's like a project, a puzzle, right? A puzzle to figure out. Michaela says, I have to leave, but I'd like the recording. 100%. We'll get that to you. Okay. So here is one example. This is Kim. I mentioned her earlier. She joined our program in October of 2022. So she's on her 13th month in business, but her first client was a larger client. It was like a $5 million plumbing company, and she was charging $2,200 per month. And so she's got her reoccurring income coming in, right? But she realized that this client needed back work, and she was able to charge them $9,000 to go back and clean up the previous months for that year. So it was all of 2022 leading up to December, I think. Yeah, December 16th is when she got this client. So the ongoing fee was $2,200, but she charged $9,000 to do the cleanup work. And he paid it. I remember hopping on a call with her, and I was like, did you get that money in your account? And she's like, I haven't processed it yet. He told me to, but I'm nervous. And I'm like, girl, charge it. He said, charge it. Go ahead. So anyway, she got all of that money in a lump sum. Guys, right before Christmas, she got this client on December 16th. So she made over $11,000 in her second month in business right before Christmas. How awesome do you think she felt going into Christmas time with that giant bonus? But like, if you guys get a cleanup job that's that big, you can put that in your savings, and maybe, you know, that covers all of your bills for 3 months. Go ahead and quit your job and double down on your business, right? Or you can take that $9,000 and dump it on some debt, or go buy, a new car, a big down payment on a car, or whatever. You can do whatever you want with it. Isn't that amazing though? So type in the chat, what would you do with a $9,000 cleanup job? If you got that money as your first client or your second client or your fifth client, what would you do with it? Type that in the chat while I'm going over Alicia's here. So Alicia is another student. She's still in the academy as well. She joined about the same time as Kim, or about a month later in November. And she took about 3-4 weeks to get her business set up and going and everything. And then her family was moving at the time as well. So she had a lot going on personally, but she still prioritized her business. She started marketing on, where was it? December 11th, she started marketing, and she got her first client on the 15th. So it took her 4 days of marketing to get her first client. This one was a little bit bigger, smaller than Kim's, but bigger than our average. So she charged $1,500 a month. And this one was behind a couple years. So she charged a $6,000 cleanup job for this small client. So in her first 30 days in the academy, in her business, she made $7,500. So insane. Now she's got that $1,500 a month moving forward, but then she could do that extra $6,000 or the $7,500, dump it in her savings, pay off the academy loan, whatever you want to do with it. So looks like most people are going to pay off debts first. I like it. I'd like to invest more. Bills are constant as well. Yes. Yeah. Enjoy the holidays. Exactly. No shame in going crazy on Christmas sometimes, right? So these ladies are some examples of like normal backwork fees that we get. Our students get anywhere from like $1,800 all the way up to about $10,000 for cleanup jobs. That is very average, very typical. We see it a lot. The next example I'm going to show you is a crazy wild one, but I just want you guys to see what the possibility is here. We don't see these high dollar amounts a ton, but we do see them on occasion. But I want to share this with you. This is Jennifer that I talked about earlier, who struggled with her mindset in the beginning, but once she conquered it, she went from like 2 clients to 25 clients in a very short time frame. And she actually got her 5th client about 4 months into the academy. And this one had a $32,000 cleanup job. Now, I interviewed Jen on my podcast, and she breaks it all down for you guys. She actually gave this guy a 4-month payment plan. And so over a 4-month time period, she collected that money, but still she got it. She got it all, and is also still doing this client, and he's paying $2,200 per month. So like just in her 4th month of starting the academy, even after spending a couple months just focusing on her mindset, she dove in, started doing this, and made like $34,000 in her 4th month. So, I mean, incredible, right? I did have a student one time get a $75,000 cleanup job, which was pretty cool. Most of them are under 10,000, but these are very doable, very common for when you get new clients. So really, really awesome. Whitney says, what about just getting started in bookkeeping world? Yeah, I will tell you, every single one of these clients, these students here, did not have bookkeeping experience. The only one of these 3 ladies that I highlighted here that even had accounting knowledge is Kim. She had an accounting degree, but she wasn't using it in her current job. And none of these people had ever used QuickBooks. They did not do bookkeeping. They were not classically trained as bookkeeping. Alicia has a job at a healthcare agency as like a customer service rep, and she did some VA work on the side for businesses where she was only making like $20 an hour doing that. And then Jen was working as like an office manager for a construction company. So none of these people had bookkeeping experience. We helped them learn how to do all of this work after they got paid. They literally got paid, and then we showed them how to do a really great job for their clients, so their clients stay and refer them more people. That's our goal for you guys. So we're going to support you so that you can not only get a raving review from these clients, but then they want to tell all of their friends about you, and you get more clients from that, which is really cool. So here's a little recap of all of the backwork and cleanup examples that I have, but, you know, think about what you would do if you got a client that paid you these lump sums. And for me, like, I would highly suggest utilizing that money to just put it in your savings. So for those of you that are working, you can quit your job, free up time, because think about it. These ladies got these cleanup jobs while they were all working and squeezing marketing into their busy schedule. But think about how much more money you can make if you had 40 hours a week you could work on marketing. Crazy, right? You could make this times 40. I mean, there's potential for that for sure. So one of the things that we do when people get these potential clients is we help them understand how to handle all the steps leading up to getting paid, but also all the steps that come after. So here's kind of a little list of everything that we help with, basically. We help them understand how to conduct the new client discovery call, how to ask all the right questions, so that way then we can help them put together a proper quote like we talked about, and then know how to put together a proposal, present that to the client so they're able to explain the value so the client would say yes. And then now that they have the clients, we help them understand how to efficiently onboard these new clients, how to break down the cleanup jobs into a manageable step-by-step learning process, how to help them understand how to do all of the cleanup work in the accounting software, and then also how to learn how to do all of the monthly ongoing work as well. So you guys are making a minimum of $100 an hour doing this work. Now, Jen and Alicia both told me that they made over $200 an hour when they calculated all the time that they spent on the cleanup jobs, which is even better, which is really cool. But most importantly, out of everything, we taught these ladies how to find these clients as well, which you guys probably know is called marketing, right? So this is the most important thing out of everything we teach. This is the most important thing that you guys are going to learn, because if you understand how to do marketing and how to find clients, you will forever be in control of how much money you have coming into your family's life for the rest of your life. So it's really important to us. We do give referrals out to our students a lot, because I get a lot of people coming to me wanting me to connect them with bookkeepers, because I don't personally do bookkeeping anymore. So I do have referrals for people quite often, but I'm very passionate about teaching you guys how to find your own clients, because then you're empowered. You'll always be empowered to be able to grow your business whenever you feel like it. Okay, so I'm going to show you the 3 main methods that we teach. So Michelle and Catherine, yes, I will send you guys the recording, absolutely, and feel free to hop back on if you can. But we teach 3 main methods to do marketing. All 3 of these methods have been proven to take our students from $0 to $100,000 per year in their business within the first 12 months, sometimes even quicker, like Jen, she did it quicker. We give our students the opportunity to pick. So you don't have to do all 3 of these, but if you do, you're going to reach your goals faster because you've just got more avenues and more momentum going, right? So I'm going to go over these 3 methods, and then you guys tell me in the chat which ones that you are going to start with your business. So the first one we have is social media marketing. This is all organic marketing, connecting with people on the platforms that you're already familiar with, and you can use whichever ones that you prefer. But we basically show you how to connect with business owners and then post content that actually attracts them to want to reach out to you. So I just recently had a student who commented on a post in a business group, a Facebook group. And from that, she got 2 discovery calls and booked calls for potentially 2 new clients just from literally 1 comment in a Facebook group. So we really teach you how to use social media as a business owner, and you don't have to spam people at all. Instead, you're going to post content that gets people interested in wanting to reach back out to you. And then from there, you book a call or you build that relationship. However, if you do decide you want to private message people, people actually do appreciate that in this field, because what we do is not like trying to sell a product. It's more of like helping a business owner. And so if you do that, it does work really well. Elena just joined a few weeks ago, and we have a social media contest going on right now. And she private messaged 11 people on Instagram that she knew had a business. And from those 11 messages, she booked 3 discovery calls with people. Those 11 messages probably took her 5 minutes to send out, and now she's got 3 potential clients. So lots of that stuff works. We walk you through all the different things that you can do to get some traction going. Jen's primary source of client acquisition is through the social media marketing, and Kim got her $9,000 cleanup job from just following the first steps that we had in the social media marketing. So it can be really, really awesome. The next thing that we have is networking groups. This works really, really well. This one is not free though. There is an investment anywhere from like $500 to $800 will get you an annual investment in a networking group. But the great thing about these groups is typically you're going to be the only bookkeeper in the group. And so all the other business owners are going to refer any bookkeeping leads to you. So basically all these people are going to do marketing for you. And it's really nice because it's in a small group setting. So if you're an introvert, it's nice to not like be out in a huge group. You're in a small group. Everybody gets to know each other like a family, and you help each other grow your business. It works really well. We have a really great strategy around how you can get the most out of these groups and how to really utilize them to your fullest. When I was in one of these groups, I made $60,000 in my first year of being in a group from all the bookkeeping referrals that I got. It's a very popular method in our academy. Terry is one of our students. In September, she made $7,000 specifically just from her group. So really, really awesome there. That's an option. And then the last thing that we really focus on is email marketing. So what we do here is show you how to get a large list of business owners and tax offices. And then we show you how to deploy email campaigns to both of them. Obviously, to business owners, we're going to show you how to get them interested in wanting more information about your services. But the tax offices is a really cool strategy because business owners can't get their taxes done unless their bookkeeping is done. And a lot of tax people either don't like to do bookkeeping or they don't have time. So they partner with bookkeepers to help with that overflow work for their clients. So we help you develop a partnership with these tax offices. And then you guys can then like work together and create this great relationship. So we actually had a lady named Stephanie in our program. We did a contest on how many tax partnerships you could get, and she won it. She won our contest. And now next week in our academy, she's doing a marketing workshop, walking everyone through exactly what she did to win that contest. So you guys can replicate her results too, which is really cool. It's a great way, and it costs almost nothing to get clients this way. So what questions do you guys have on marketing? Does anybody have any questions? And type in the chat a 1 for social media, a 2 for networking, and a 3 for email, what you're going to do. And if you're going to do all, type 1, 2, 3. So type that in the chat. What marketing are you going to do? Helen's going to do networking and email. Jose is going to do all. Love it. I love it. 3, 2, 1 in that order. Awesome. Awesome. Kalani's going to do it all. Great. Lisa, Whitney's going to do them all. Lisa's going to do 1 and 3. Awesome. Love it. Yeah, the networking group is the only one that really has to be like a local thing. So, it doesn't work for everybody, that particular one. Sometimes you can get on an online one, but yeah, it's a little bit easier to do the networking once you get to the point where you can quit your job. Wendy's going to try all. Awesome. Love it. This is great, guys. Okay, would you guys like to see how we help our students achieve these results? Like literally, what are the features and benefits of our academy? How do we support you? I know I've been mentioning a few things here and there, but then what do you get? What kind of support do you get? Put a thumbs up in the chat if you guys want to see how that works. All right. No emojis, but yes, please. Okay. Yeah, feel free to type anything. Okay, so the first thing that we offer is a members only private Facebook group. So the one that you see here is the free group that we have that you guys are probably already in. So this one is a private one though, a small tight knit community. There's about 200 people in here, some students in their first year, and then we've got about 30 students that are in their second, third, and fourth years and going on their fifth years, like Kaylee. And you get to learn from them, experience things with them, and collaborate with them as well. But we also have about 8 to 10 people that are from my team that are also in there. They're all either experts in bookkeeping, growing a business, marketing, mindset, all different areas. And you get to have access to all of them as well, which is really awesome. But the cool thing is we treat the Facebook group like a ticketing system. Okay. So whenever you post a question, we call that a ticket submission. So you can post questions pertaining to basically every subject you can think of. Nothing is off the table. Some examples are sales, marketing, quoting, QuickBooks Online questions, technical bookkeeping, technical tax questions, workflow, mindset, all that kind of stuff. We answer questions 6 days a week. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. We usually don't work on Sundays, but we do answer all of those questions on Monday morning. So if you're working on a Sunday, feel free to post. We'll get to it on Monday morning. We do have lax time on Friday evenings and a slower response time on Saturdays, just due to volume and demand. But through all of those other timeframes, we typically, on average, have a 45-minute average response time for all of the questions that you post, which is really cool because if your client has a question and you don't know the answer and you tell them, hey, I'm going to get back to you in about 24 hours, you come to the group, get a question in 45 minutes, and then you can get back to your client early and surprise them and impress them, which is really cool. But it's great to have questions answered that quickly because then you guys don't have to be stuck on anything. You'll be able to move right to the next thing. We call this group our piece of cake support group, and you get access to that as part of your Bookkeeper Academy membership. So we actually also track everything in this group. So here's an example of the metrics that my team puts together. So the first column shows the number of questions that are asked. Like I said, we call them tickets. This particular week, there were 578 questions asked. The cool thing about that is you guys get to read those too if you want, if you have time, and you get to see the answers. So you're going to be learning so much just by being able to see all of those things. But the second column shows our first touch resolution. So this means if somebody asks a question, are we able to fully answer it with our response? And so 71% of questions didn't require any follow-up or any clarification or anything. We were able to fully answer it with that first response. And the average response time from column 4 was 42 minutes for this particular week. Now, those other questions that we couldn't answer all in one sitting, we had to maybe like ask for clarifying information or go back and forth with the student a few times, but we were still able to fully resolve all 578 questions within a 65-minute resolution time. So you guys are going to get really, really fast help here, and we're available about 70 hours per week to help you grow your business. Jose, we will definitely be sending you the video. Lena, yes, sending you the video as well. Hear that, honey? You're going to have lots of texts to send out. Okay. So, and then on top of that, we have Zoom calls that we host every week, around 7-8 different Zoom calls every single week. Currently, this is our schedule. Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. Central, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central. And we also have a Friday one that's not listed on here. Monday and Friday, those are mindset related. All the other ones are general Q&A. We also next week have the marketing workshop in the evening that we're doing for everybody. So if you guys want to get in before those start, you can just jump right into that marketing workshop. It'd be great. These are typically about an hour long, but just like this webinar, we stay on until all questions are answered. So It may last longer than that if there's a lot of people that are attending and there's a lot of questions. So we just want to make sure everybody gets all the help that they need. And these group Zoom calls are a real popular hit between everyone. We also have a client success director that you're going to be able to work one-on-one with. This is over email and texting for the most part, but she's going to be your accountability partner, really help you, move through the program so you can reach your goals, holds you accountable to that, helps you develop the quickest plan to reaching your goals. So it's different for everybody. Like, Helen mentioned wanting to go a little bit faster. Other people might want to go a little bit slower. So she helps you go at your own pace and then points you into the right direction of what's going to be the best thing for you to focus on as you're going through this. Like I mentioned, you're going to get access to a ton of coursework, everything you would ever need or want to know about growing your bookkeeping business, but it is going to be a waste of your time to go through and watch all of it. So that's what our client success director will work really well with you, because she will help you take this coursework and just go to the videos or the lessons that are going to help you with the issue or the question that you have right then. But you will have access to all this coursework. So over time, you can watch it all. This is a typical journey of what we see our students do. The first couple of weeks, they're learning how to set up their business back office. They're learning the basics of bookkeeping and business ownership. They're learning how to provide amazing service to their clients. They can communicate intelligently with a potential client, and then know how to conduct a potential client discovery call. So all of that, if you got a couple hours per day that you can work on going through this stuff, you should be ready to go within a couple of weeks and then be able to pivot and work on your marketing plan. And then so usually the last 2 weeks of your first month, you developing and launching your marketing plan, getting help and feedback as you go, especially as some leads start to roll in. And then usually in month 2, you're enrolling your first few clients. We're starting to help you with the cleanup jobs, the onboarding, knowing how to do the work. And then the rest of the year in the academy is taking everything that you learn those first few months and just repeating it, becoming an expert bookkeeper, continuing to onboard new clients, get exposure to clients from all different industries with our safety net of support, and lean on us to help set the foundation for a profitable business that gives you that financial location and time freedom that you guys are all looking for. Okay, so that is the majority of what we offer in the academy. So what questions can I answer for you guys there? And I need to also, let me see here, show you guys the funding. So for those of you, where is it here? For those of you that are in the US, this is going to be our funding link. Let's see if you guys can see my screen. Yeah, okay. This is the funding link. I'm going to drop it in here for people in the US. And this is what you want to do. If you guys want to apply for funding, remember all you need, it takes 5 minutes to apply, a couple hours to get pre-approved. And then all you need is to be able to have your down payment available. $640, and they will get you done, and we can get you enrolled in the academy probably honestly by the end of the day. So if you aren't quite ready for that, that's okay. You can go ahead and apply if you know that you're going to have the money, maybe like in a couple days. You can book your call with the lender for the date that you know you're going to have the money. Or if it's a couple weeks out, Sean will be in touch with you and you can coordinate with him on when is the best time to apply as well. But if you know that you're ready to move forward, you've got the 640 in there, go ahead and grab that link and apply. Like I said, it only takes about 5 minutes to apply. I'm going to get the link for Canada. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. All righty. I'm going to put the Canada link in here for those of you that are in Canada. It is a little bit harder to get approved in Canada. I don't know why it keeps sending it, even though I didn't want it to. So if it doesn't go through for you in Canada, we can work on an internal payment plan. So, but you can feel free to apply there as well. Same deal. It only takes about 5 minutes. So what questions can I answer for you guys on all of this? I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute so we can see each other. Is anybody going to be applying? Let's see. Helen says, I got an email just after webinar started about your master discovery call course. Is that included in the 12K course or a separate fee? Yes, it is included in the academy. So if you guys are planning on joining the academy, no need to invest in any separate coursework. You will have access to everything. There is nothing that we hold back from our academy students. Pretty much get everything. So yep, you don't have to invest in that. So what else? What other questions can I answer? You guys have been great today. Great questions, great participation. I'm going to apply just as soon as I've got the 640 when a check clears, hopefully tomorrow, but maybe not till Monday. Sounds great. That sounds awesome. I'm excited for you. That is fantastic, Helen. You're going to do great at this. It's going to be super fun. So I am going to be sending you guys, well, you're all going to be getting a text from my husband, Sean, so that way he can answer any questions that you might have. And then if you guys don't receive a text, we'll also send out an email. So please respond to that email if you don't get the text message, because we do have some problems with the text messages going through. Sometimes they don't always work. The full price of the academy for the 12-month term is $12,000. You guys are also welcome to just pay that directly. We do have some people that just use their credit card. Same terms, if a lot of times you can get a 0% interest credit card as well. And if you pay it off within 12 months, there's no interest. So that could work just as well also. So if anybody wants to do that, please let me know, because we can just get an invoice over to you ASAP and you can get started right away. Cut out the, couple of hours dealing with the lender. So Wendy says, so as we're studying, we are working on getting clients. Correct. Yes. So everybody has a slightly different comfort level with that, but our motto and our goal is to help you have your cake and eat it too. We want you to have the schedule and the lifestyle that you want, but we want you to be able to make the kind of money that you need and want for your life as well. And we don't want to delay that. So our program is set up to help you start making money, even though you might not hardly know anything about bookkeeping at first. It usually only takes about your first 4 to 5 clients before you get to the point where you feel like you really know what you're doing. And the thing with accounting is it's like a puzzle. Bookkeeping is like a puzzle. And so until you see the process through a handful of times, it doesn't always click. And so that's why we're there to help you get through the whole process and understand how to do it all. But we want you to do that. We want you to be able to do that while you're making money. We don't want you to have to go through the traditional route where you learn for a long time. And then hopefully, maybe, fingers crossed, you start building a business. We want you to start making money right away. Let's see. Does that make sense, Wendy? Do you have any reservations about that? Or do you feel pretty confident with our support that you'll be able to follow the steps, go ahead and start, working towards getting some clients, even though you don't really know everything about bookkeeping yet? Helen says, I'm really excited about this new funding option. I wanted to apply last year when I first heard of the program, but couldn't afford it. Yes, it's a great option right now, because I feel like in the way the economy is going right now, that it's really hard for anybody to have the credit that they need and the income that they need to be able to get traditional financing for something like this. So this new funding specialist is like a dream come true for everybody. And I'm so excited that there is this opportunity for everyone to take advantage of this with such a little amount of money coming out each month. That's what I was hoping it would be. Fantastic. Carolyn says, thanks for all you do. I have to leave right now, and I would love the recording. 100%. For the Canada site, it says they are currently only funding U.S. clients under Q&A. Yes. So in Canada, Cindy, they don't do any guaranteed funding. So it would go through traditional Canadian lending laws. So you do have to meet whatever those requirements are as far as like credit score and things like that. And Canada's very secretive about those kinds of things, so I don't even know what they are. But if you're in Canada and you're open to it, go ahead and apply using that link. Let me know if you have any trouble with that. And then if you don't get approved for whatever reason, we can work with you on, you know, some other options of getting in. So, and the funding specialist will let us know when you guys apply, so we can keep up with them as well and help the process along. So that would be great too. Wendy says, I've done it before and I know I can do this. Awesome. I love it. Do they outsource a Canadian app then? Yeah. Yes, there are lots of lending things. I think Canada actually has some more options than even we do here in the US. But when you're thinking about interest rates, you know, don't let that deter you from going ahead and getting a loan, because quite frankly, even if the interest rate was so high that your investment was like double, and I know your investment's going to be a little bit larger being in Canada anyway, but even if it's double, you're still going to make $100,000, even if you put like 24,000 into it. I know it sounds crazy or scary, but you're still going to have a huge return on investment, right? So try to think a little bit outside the box of like, the interest might still be worth it, you know? So you might not want to let that hold you back, right? Plus, interest is tax deductible. You can write it off on your taxes as well. And if you can get in with somebody that doesn't have a prepayment penalty, most people don't, then you'll be able to pay it off early and really mitigate most of that interest anyway. So that's something to think about as well. The interest is really only a factor if you're going to draw out your monthly payment for a really long time, right? If you decide to never pay it off early, that's when you're going to pay all the interest. But like, for example, you know, the car that we bought, I'm sure we probably would have paid $60,000 or $70,000 for that van over the course of like 5 to 7 years if we would have made all the monthly payments on time. But because I was able to pay it off early, I avoided all of that interest, which you guys will be able to do as well. So great question. And just so you guys know, Robin, who made the $20,000 in 3 months, she's in Canada. I think I might have mentioned that. And we have a lot of students from Canada and a lot of experience helping people with that. So, and we even have quite a bit of experience helping people in the UK. I don't know if anybody on this call is from the UK today, but we do have some UK students as well. So, well, I'm going to let this wrap up. I'm going to have Sean reach out to all of you guys, see if you guys have any questions. Feel free to go ahead and apply for funding using that link if you've got your down payment. And Sean's going to get you more resources too that you need. If you don't hear from him, please shoot us an email so we can coordinate with you on making sure you guys can connect over text and there isn't any technology barriers. But thank you guys so much for being on here. I am so excited to help you guys get started. And yes, it was great. So great, Helen. And I'm really excited to see you guys transform your lives and reach all of those goals that you've had for years that we've just never really known how to accomplish. So you guys kind of get those all accomplished. So thank you so much. We look forward to chatting with you here in the coming days, and we'll talk soon. So you guys all have a wonderful day. I will see you later. Bye.